Today I'd like to talk about the topic of complex adaptive system change theory. As a whole, complex change theories say that the process of change must be complex because humans, the people making the decisions, are complex individuals. Specifically, the change adaptive system theory says that the coordination of activities leading to the change cannot be planned linearly, as the members all affect each other as they make their decisions that all progress towards change. Using this process, it is understood that someone or something will make decisions based on how their previous decisions affected them. They're highly influenced by their past. For example, if a person that made small decisions every day in college, if those helped them to have the job that they now have, they would continue to make small decisions every day currently to make their next big life decision, whether it be a job or some other financial decision, because they saw that pattern in college work for them in a positive way. Or if it worked for them in a negative way, they could make that change then as well. How can we use this change theory? This theory can be applied personally or on an organizational level as well. While using this method in an organization, the manager must realize that he cannot focus on one changing agent at a time, but rather many agents, because they will all affect each other. As this theory builds on complexity, it also leaves room, or rather makes awareness of, for change that may come up without expectation. This thought breeds from thinking that the world is always evolving in complexity. An application that can be made to healthcare is pointed out by Tim Gomersall. He explains how this theory can be applied to better understand patients' reasoning in their healthcare decisions. It can be understood that these decisions are based on their psychosocial needs, they're highly affected by each intervention provided, and their decision factors compatibility together. Patients recognize their need to make decisions holistically and evaluate how it would affect their life from every angle, and see how their comorbidities work together. This is the complex adaptive system change theory working in their decision-making process in their head, or if they talk it out loud. It is a theory that is working in place at that moment. A biblical application can be seen about this change theory in Isaiah 43:19. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. This is God speaking here in Isaiah, and this is a reference to the example of God leading the Israelites through the wilderness. God led them through different changes in life while leading them to the promised land. But the Israelites still made small decisions each day that affected their path that God was leading them on. God made us all as complex human beings that have the free will to choose in our own small decisions as we strive to live in His will for us. This verse tells us that God is always doing new things and that He will make a way for it to happen. A perspective for this change theory would also be in how God can work in two different people's hearts at the same time while they live their life in God's will, and God can have these two people affect each other physically in their life. This could be two co-workers working together, influencing each other as they both follow God's plan, and their influence in each other affects a change that they would make in their life. But God is always causing changes, and it is our job to still keep our eyes on the Lord and trust that He will make a path even if we feel we are in a wilderness. An example using the complex adaptive system change theory in healthcare would be involving a patient with several comorbidities and organizing their care plans. Using this system, it would be recognized that each medication given, each doctor giving orders, each personal decision made by the patient would be worked together to reach the end goal of healing treatment. This is why we would need to know what medications can be infused together in IVs. Also, by knowing a patient's past medical history is essential when giving orders and making their care plans. We had looked at this from the patient's perspective, and now we can look at it from the healthcare's perspective and knowing what would need to work together to then be able to create change, the change being healing in this case. Questions to consider for the future. What is another example in healthcare where the complex adaptive system change theory can be used? What is a way that you've seen the complex adaptive system change theory used in your life around you? Could be church, work, clinicals, etc. What is the benefit of using the complex adaptive system change theory in business organizations? Those are the references that I used.